Hello, and welcome to Kinship Connections. I'm Deidre Razak. I'm a training and coaching specialist with the Vermont Child Welfare Training Partnership. Today, Joan Rock and I will be leading you through class. Joan, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, I'm Joan Rock. I'm the Foster and Kin Care Manager for the Family Services Division.
So today we're going to be talking about deepening connections with kids through play and humor. There are 3 sections to this class: reasons to play, what play means for kinship caregivers, and ways to play. So one caveat, we are filming at home, so there might be kids and dogs that you hear in the background. So we apologize in advance, but they go right along with play and humor. So if you're joining us on a call, we'll send you a list of the ideas that we share after the call. And if you're watching online, you'll find a resource list below the video. So the objectives for today. So we're going to look at 3 things. Why play is important for kids and the adults in their lives, particularly kinship caregivers. Ways to infuse your daily life with play and humor, even when you're tired or overwhelmed. And strategies and resources to be playful with children and youth of all ages and developmental levels. So the importance of play is backed by science. We need, as a society, to help children and families thrive. And some of the ways that we need to do that are by supporting responsive relationships and strengthening core life skills and reducing sources of stress. And play in early childhood is an effective way of supporting all 3 of these principles. Studies also show that play improves memory and stimulates the growth of brain cells. Play can also help kids move beyond trauma. So play is really important. It supports kids in so many ways. Adults need to play too. Play for adults is vital in our stressful lives. Play has been shown to release endorphins, improve brain function, and stimulate creativity. It can even help keep us young and feeling energetic. As we go through the call, we'll look more at how play supports us and at a variety of ways to play. So we're going to look at some types of play today. We've got 5 of them here, and you could enjoy more than one of these, and maybe there's one that you just can't stand. So it's important as we think about these play types and the idea of playing in general to remember the history of the child or youth that you're caring for. Because if a child has a trauma history, then there could be ways of playing that are triggering. And so you're going to need to think about the child's particular needs and pay attention to what's happening in the play and see if there's any ways that you need to intervene or get support. But so we'll look at these 5 ways to play. So rough and tumble play are things like tug of war, scavenger hunts, and wrestling. And so this kind of play helps develop emotional regulation. It also helps develop mastery cognitively, emotionally, and physically. So ritual play is things like chess, board games, sports with set rules. So in ritual play, we can create and strategize and design and engage in activities that bring people together for a common purpose or goal. So imaginative play is things like storytelling, coloring, acting. It's really living out your fantasies, letting your imagination run wild. Body play is things like yoga, hiking, biking, riding roller coasters. And this kind of play helps us feel like we're defying gravity. Object play is manipulating things like Legos, building forts, stuffed animals, moving those little animals down at the bottom of your screen around. And so this form of play is really about manipulating things and designing and building. So right now, we'd like you to pause for a moment and consider You can take a moment to think or write about which types of play you really prefer and which types of play the rest of the people in your household prefer. So just knowing this can help you breathe a sigh of relief. It helps you understand what each of you enjoys and also why sometimes you might butt heads around what to play or how to play, and sometimes why the kids in your home butt heads around those things as well. Even just helping them understand, like, these are your preferences, these are my preferences, so sometimes I'm going to have to, sometimes we're going to have to compromise, but we can appreciate what each person enjoys. So just take a moment to think about that. So developing a play rhythm. We just asked you to think about the kinds of play that you and the children and youth in your home prefer. So you can use this knowledge to think about how you can create a play rhythm in your home that works for everyone. You'll also need to consider schedules and times of low and high energy for all of you, and this can help all of you learn balance. An example of this might be if you're raising your grandchildren and they favor body play and rough and tumble play, and you favor imaginative play and ritual play. So during part of the day, the kids could be riding bikes, running in the yard, things like that, but you don't have to be riding the bike. You could be watching on the sidelines enthusiastically and comment or cheer. They'll still feel connected to you even if you're not doing the activity. Your presence is what matters most. And in the evening, you can sit together and draw or play a board game. They may still be bouncing or crouching and jumping while they draw or play the game, but they're also learning about those other ways to play.
So what does play mean for you? Sometimes kinship caregivers don't see how their relationship has changed. As a kinship caregiver, you go from being the fun relative to also being the taskmaster. Previously, you took them to movies and brought them home and dropped them off. Now you're also telling them to do their homework and stop fighting with their siblings. Play helps the child remember the playful parts of your relationship rather than only focusing on you enforcing rules or telling them what to do. Play helps you deepen your connection. Building connections when everyone is happy and regulated is like putting on your rain gear before you go outside into a storm. Play helps you build and maintain relationships that can withstand challenges. So what gets in the way of play? Parenting through trauma. It can be hard to think about playing if a child is triggered or feeling challenged. Adjusted parenting. From fun relative to taskmaster. You have to think about so much more when the child is living with you. It takes a lot of effort. Low energy levels and illness. With these things, you might need to enlist some help. Other family members or friends might need to support your family. You might need to allow the children to use more screen time or to offer coloring, things that are quiet and inside of the house. Relationships with other family members are different now too. A child might resist playing with you the way they played with a parent, or they might feel sad and miss that parent. You might feel resentful at having to play more when you previously had time to yourself. How to play when you really don't feel like it. Mindfulness. Your presence without distraction is what really matters to the children. Sometimes you might prioritize play over household chores. Not always, but there may be times when the children really need that from you. Intention. Notice what you need and what the child needs. Look for ways to meet both of your needs. Find your rhythm. Action doesn't always have to be active. Like we mentioned before, if they're biking and you're talking to them, they still feel like you're a part of what they're doing. You can be playful without playing. One of my favorite activities with my granddaughter was to sit on the floor on Saturday mornings, bright and early, and while I drank my coffee, she built me a Lego fort. And that was really fun for both of us. You could read with funny voices. You could let them dress you up, brush your hair, or play with your hands. Becoming comfortable with discomfort. While it's important to take care of yourself and not pushing yourself beyond your limits, there's something to be said for pushing yourself a little bit. Whenever we learn a new skill, it feels uncomfortable at first. Challenge yourself to spend a few minutes each day thinking about new ways of play. Let's pause here. Think about your answers to these questions. How has play helped you build your relationship with the child? What has gotten in the way of playing? What do you think of learning to be comfortable with discomfort? As we go through the next section, keep in mind the ages and developmental stages of the children and youth in your home. Pay attention to what these different kinds of play might look like.
So here are some ways to communicate effectively using play and humor. You could create surprises and humor in your home and daily routines that keep kids feeling seen, heard, and motivated to be in relationship with you and with one another. You can connect through wordless games, especially partnering games and activities. You can notice the child's preferences, take an interest in their skills, interests, and hobbies, and build on sharing those preferences, even when they're different. In the next slides, we'll look at examples of each of these.
Here are some ways you can use humor around the house. Put a joke-a-day calendar on the kitchen table. Watch funny movies or shows together. Write and perform a rap for your family. Read school assignments and act them out like charades.
Here are some ways to create surprises. You could put balloons in strange places, put googly eyes on things that shouldn't have them, turn the furniture upside down, or put paintings upside down. Make food surprises, like serve cupcakes for dinner. Maybe not all the time, but once in a while. And some other ideas. You could change the clock to a different time, dress up your pet, use hair chalk or temporary dye. You could clothes swap, wear your children's clothes or your spouse's clothes. You could put notes that say I love you and give encouragement in unexpected places, in jeans pockets, on a shower door, in a textbook.
Here are some ways to connect through games or wordless partnering. Propose a daily fitness challenge. Make family art or do a continuous drawing on a big piece of flip chart paper that's always on the wall. Have Scrabble tiles or magnetic poetry around for messages or poems. Color together with music, to music. Other ideas are throwing, kicking, playing catch with a koosh ball, a tennis ball, a football, frisbee, water balloons, soccer and basketballs. Two-person chores like folding sheets or washing and drying dishes or washing the dog or putting jigsaw puzzles together.
Sharing preferences can be a fun way to connect. Choose my outfit day. You could choose what your child wears and they get to choose what you wear. You could do each other's makeup. You could have a favorite music session where everyone in the house picks some songs that you want to listen to and you make a playlist and everyone listens together or dances together. Make funny masks of favorite TV characters and have a conversation as the characters, or FaceTime a friend or relatives in character. Notice preferred colors and add a little something with that color into everything you do with the child that day.
So what do you think? Thanks for joining us today. We hope we've given you some useful ideas and also some ways to build connections with the children and youth in your lives. We also hope you'll remember that play helps all of us to thrive. Keep trying new forms of play and have a great day.